Hi friends, I am Siddheshwar. Today we will see the production of beer. First we see what is a beer. Beer is a fermented alcoholic beverage from barley, wheat, rice, etc. The ingredients of beer is hops, yeast, grains, sugar, water. The most of the grains used in beer is a barley. Slide is a type of the beer. There are the two types of beer. First is a ale. Ale is a top fermented beer as yeast settle to the top during the fermentation because ale beer is a warm temperature beer 60 to 70 Fahrenheit. That is why the ale beer is a top fermented beer. The second type is a lager. Lager is a bottom fermented beer as a yeast settle to the bottom to during fermentation because the lager is a cold temperature beer is a 35 to 50 Fahrenheit. That is why to the lager is the bottom fermented beer. Then we come to the how to produce beer. First is the harvesting. Every common alcohol beer harvests the cereals, grains, etc. The production of beer commonly use barley. When we will be harvesting after the soak the water in the barley because barley have a starch. The starch is converted into insoluble sugar, then it called to the germination method. The different type of the roasting given barley to the different type of beer. There are the various roast malts, roast chocolate malt, coffee malt, black malt, amber malt, caramel malt, etc. The flavor is a completely depend upon brew to roasted barley. Grist is the powder from the malt barley. Make a powder after roast. Malt, now it's called the grist because malt is a soluble. Mash is the add hot water in a grist. The temperature is 145 to the 155 Fahrenheit because malt and other cereal starch are transferred into sugar and protein and other material are made soluble. Wort is a solution of a soluble material in a water because there are the two reasons. First is the pasteurization. At the time of the pasteurization, wort is a transfer to the second container because the less impurities and germs is still in the down to the container. Second reason is added hops in a hot water. Hops is a flour. Hops make bitterness and a balanced flavor to the beer. The more hops that you boil, the more bitterness come into the beer. The boiling process is 60 to 90 minutes. After a boiling, the beer is go for the cooling process. After filter and transfer to the another container for a fermentation. Yeast is the microorganism is added for the fermentation process. Fermentation process in which sugar is react with the yeast, produce alcohol and reduce the yeast. The sugar is the natural sugar is from fruits and yeast is a microorganism and is a fermented is a room temperature 20 to 35 Celsius and there are the two types of the yeast is a Saccharomyces cerevisiae and a Saccharomyces carbonaceae. Mature is the process is depends upon to company. The company store for the 6 months, 5 months, 4 months. The minimum time is a store for 3 to 21 days. Racking is a carbonated process is a packed with the CO2 under pressure. The beer is a observed CO2. This beer is a store in a wooden cask. This wooden cask is a very expensive and the very high quality wooden in use. Brightening is a powder added in a beer to after racking because the impurities to remove in the beer. That is why to use brightening agent. After that, the beer is a transfer into bottle and cans. After the dispatch the bottles and go to the bar and beer shops.